Why did you not listen to the warnings in the Gosher and Johansson report published in 2018, which suggested a clear link between public transport use and infectious disease transmission?
I think hopefully you'll be aware that actually what TfL did is to respond by ensuring that we're undertaking the most enhanced cleaning regimes on public transport undertaken across the country, but also learning lessons from around the world as well. And the advice we had as a consequence of the work we did post the University of Bristol report shows that actually the enhanced cleaning we were doing was making a big difference. But also, as recently as March 18 of this year, SAGE, the government's scientific advisory group, confirmed that the transport measures would have a minimal impact on reducing transmission in London.
So are you saying that you did respond to that report?
TfL always responds to reports. In fact, one of the things we did as a result of the report was not simply to enhance the cleaning regime, but in advance of lockdown, we were undertaking antiviral cleaning on our estate, not undertaken anywhere else across the country, including the first transport authority to test the longer-lasting 30 days antiviral regime, which is now being used across the country, the rest of the country learning from London.
If that's the case, Mr. Mayor, why on the 3rd of March did you say there is no risk in using the tube or buses or other forms of public transport or going to a concert? Why did you say that if the information had been taken into account?
Well, you'll be aware, hopefully, that on the 18th of March, after what I said, SAGE confirmed that transport measures such as restricting public transport, taxis and private hire facilities would have a minimal impact on reducing transmission. And the reason is because the advice from the government and their experts up until the first COBRA I attended, which is in the middle of March, was the risk of community transmissions was very low. In fact, you'll be aware that community transmissions only became an issue in middle to late March. And as soon as I went to the first COBRA, I think the 15th or 16th of March, and discovered the high levels of transmissions, I straight away changed the advice to Londoners in advance of the government's lockdown measures, because I was cognizant for the first time of the level of infections in London. At that stage, half of the infections were in London, and because of the good work done by London,
you're talking a lot about
third to quarter to fifth to now about fifth to sixth.
Yeah. You're talking a lot about your response. I'm talking about the preparation. And you absolutely are. The response was that you increased cleaning on the underground. Once we knew the virus had taken hold, why wasn't cleaning increased on the underground as a result of academic information that told us that infectious disease transmission was highly likely on the tube?
It was, and there's been increased cleaning on the underground for some time now, professionally cleaned through the day and during the night. We also commissioned King's College to do some further work because there was some concern about a particular matter on the underground. And some of the improvements we've made on the underground in advance of COVID-19 are way ahead from other transport authorities, not just in the country, but around the world. In fact, you'll be aware one of the concerns that we ascertained from further undertaken was because the underground in London is the oldest in the world, some of the dust on our underground is not available in other undergrounds across the world. So we are going above and beyond, which was enhanced even further at the beginning of the March ahead of the government lockdown.
Mr. Mayor, Londoners will listen to your complacent responses and wonder what kind of preparation there will be for the next public health emergency.